Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Amadai TV presents More Than Meets the Third Eye. Okay, so I'm going to give everyone a chance to get in here. Before I get started, let me go ahead and share the link. And as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, let me get this link so I can share it. Okay, so thank you all for tuning in. Gonna get started in just a second. Let me post this link really quick. Here we go. And I have prepared another PowerPoint presentation. We're going to be talking about the importance of being true to yourself. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it without further ado. I see some people have showed up. All right. Hello, Ayon, Millie, Rick, Beatzilla, Lee, Bree, Mark Ayers from the UK, Woke One. Queen of Dice says, you look native. You look beautiful, Native Empress. Thank you, beloved, for your kind words. Hello, Michelle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, people. Now, following this broadcast, I'm going to be going directly onto true crime. Okay, I have a true crime story we're going to talk about. It's quite nefarious. So everyone, please, her face says, much needed, Queen. Thank you, beloved. So we're going to be going to true crime after this for another nefarious story. All right, let's get this PowerPoint up and let's go ahead and get into it. Oops, sorry, people. Hold on. Let me get it together. Okay, there we go. It was on the wrong screen. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, the importance of being honest with yourself. So let's talk about it. Because sometimes that's not easy for some of us to do. First of all, some of us have, we are going through an identity crisis. Like some people don't know who they are, or they're afraid to show people the real them because they have all these insecurities, or maybe something about themselves that they think people will, talk badly or think badly of them for. So they want to hide these things, right? They don't want to live their true life as being the real person. A lot of people, for example, sexuality. Some people may not, be comfortable enough coming out admitting their sexuality. They may want to just be in the closet, hiding, because they fear ridicule, rejection. They think people will think badly of them. This is just one of the things that people do. Some people may not have money, but they put up a front as though they do. They go overboard to make it look like to other people that they're living this fancy life that in fact they're not. In reality, they're struggling. It's called putting on airs. It's like putting on a facade. That's what it is. So let's talk about it. Can you really live one way? Well, start examining yourself, your life, and see if every single situation you're involved in with is healthy for you in your mind and your heart. Ask yourself, am I being true to myself here? If not, find out why and then change it. Go ahead and tell the truth about yourself to everyone. Start examining your life and see if every single situation is good for you, right? I don't know why I typed that twice. Let me delete that. Okay. Now, with that all being said, the first thing to do is to ask yourself, am I being honest about my true feelings for myself? Am I being honest with my friends and family? Are they seeing the real me? Or am I hiding things and putting up a front? Dan says, let's talk about it, right? So oftentimes people have low self-esteem. They're pessimistic. They don't feel good about themselves. And so they want to put up this facade. Sometimes people actually go as far as to create an alter ego. Just make up another personality completely where they can be something they're totally not. Some people copy other people's behaviors and personalities. They don't want to be authentic because they don't like themselves, or they're insecure about who they are and the things that they do. So they start to mimic other people. They start talking like, another person, dressing like them, using the same ideology that they use. But this isn't who they really are. And half the time, these thoughts aren't even really what they want to think or what they agree with. But they just do it because they don't want to be themselves. They're afraid that someone will ridicule them, and people just won't accept them. So that's right. Tell the whole truth. You'll probably shake things up and disrupt some people. But when the dust settles, you'll be saying, this is who I am, and this is how I intend to live my life. This is the real me. Now speak your truth. In the process of speaking your truth, you'll garner something wonderful. Authenticity. Living your values and your beliefs. It's always best to be authentic, to be original. You don't have to conform to what other people want you to be or what they think you should be doing. Be true to yourself. Do what you want to do, right? Say what you want to say. Don't hold back, afraid of ridicule. Everyone has a right to express themselves and their opinions. And if yours happens to be contrary to someone else, that doesn't matter. Say what you want. It's your right to do so and live your life. You cannot live your life peacefully and successfully if you're so busy worried about what other people think of you. At the end of the day, when you're dead and in that grave, you're going to be in there by yourself. All these other people who are out here naysaying and all these other people who are out here trying to ridicule you or trying to dictate the narrative of your life, none of them are going to be there. You have to make your own decisions and be yourself unapologetically, no matter what other people think. If they don't like it, oh well, they don't have to deal with you. But stop worrying about what other people think, because at the end of the day, you can't please everybody. There's going to be some people who say, oh, you're too fat. You need to lose weight. You eat too much. There's going to be people. And then when you lose weight, some people say, oh, my God, why did you lose all that weight? You don't look like yourself. It makes you look old in the face. There's always going to be somebody with something negative to say. This just is the way it is. So trying to base your life or live your life based on what other people think and their opinions of you is absolutely ridiculous, because no matter what you do, someone will have something to say, and you will find yourself always in chaos and always anxious and always going through self-doubt and all of these things if you are listening to the people outside. There's a lot of people on the outside looking in, and they'll say whatever. Some people will say these things because they don't agree with what you're doing or how you're behaving. Some people will say it just because they're haters. So at the end of the day, you need to please yourself, right? So I'm not saying be any way you want. You see, jails and prisons are full of people who do that, and they don't care about the effect that they have on others or the things that they do have on others or the world. It means being responsible, holding yourself accountable for your thoughts and your actions. Like there's some people who literally, they never find fault in themselves, or at least if they do, they won't admit to it. They never admit that they're wrong. They offer no apologies, even when they've made mistakes. Instead, they shift the blame, deflect and gaslight, and blame everyone else around them for what they themselves do, right? This is what some people do. Now, we're all born with instincts about how to live. If you go away from those innate feelings, you may feel bad, you'll hurt, you may even be ashamed and even get angry. When I look back at my life, I sometimes cringe thinking about the things and some of the things that I said and did. And I'm so serious, right? There are some things that I said and did, and I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? But it's too late. Those things are all behind me now, right? And I'm sure we all have done and said things that we wish we could take back, or we ask ourselves, what was I thinking when I said that? But wishing I could change it. Well, you can. That's the gift. You see, the bad feelings are your internal ethical GPS, letting you know that the direction you went in was unjust to someone or something, or even to yourself. It's an opportunity because you can always change how you see it, grow and be different, and just say, I'm never going to do it again. Evolve. You see, a lot of people do BS that hurts other people, that negatively impacts other people's lives. And then when they're called out on it, they'll say, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. And then they'll go back and do it again, either to the same person or to someone else. So if you're sorry for something you've done that you know was wrong, or that you know hurt someone, you don't do it again. You don't at least purposely do it again. But if you don't care, you'll continue to do it. And you'll simply say sorry just to appease the person or make it feel as though you cared, when you know you don't. Because when you're sorry, you stop the action. You don't just say the words and continue doing the same thing. That doesn't even make sense. Now, look at life as if there are no mistakes. Everything is a learning experience, which helps you to know how you can be true to yourself. When you're true to yourself, you're also true to other people. And in being true to others, you're being true right back to yourself. And failure is okay. You know, you may fall 10 times before you get up and get to where you're going, before you accomplish your goal that you set for yourself. Some people say failure is not an option. Well, sometimes it's not an option, but guess what? It happens. And it's not the fact that you fail, it's how you deal with the failure. Do you just give up hope and say, well, that's it. You know, I didn't do it. It all went wrong. Or do you just try to figure out a strategic plan that will help you to be successful the next time you attempt that same endeavor? TJ says, right, Queen, that's what you call a narcissistic sociopath. Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up, beloved. We're going to talk about narcissists tomorrow, right? We're going to talk about narcissists because there are several different kinds, and I want to talk about them all. Now, with that all being said, sure, you'll be finding your way, and sometimes you'll slip, falter, fall down, and completely fail. But that is perfectly okay, because it's these life lessons that make you the person you are. They build and hone the essence of you and help you choose the real you. Now, to be true to yourself means never to lessen the meaning of who you are, never to be partial, never living two different ways. Remember, I told you guys that, you know, I used to try to dim my own lights by not acting as though I knew some of the things I knew, because I didn't want people to feel insecure, as if I felt like I was being, you know, a know-it-all, or as if I felt that I was so smart. There's some people who would, you know, say, oh, she just thinks she knows everything. And then so when I would hear people say this, then I started saying, you know what, I'm just going to act like I don't know certain things. But then someone called me on it one day and they said, I don't know why you're sitting here acting like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know, as smart as you are, you already knew this. So then I said, you know what? Why am I sitting here acting like I don't know the answers to certain questions just because someone else doesn't know the answers to the questions, just because someone else didn't read, research, or study, just because someone else doesn't enjoy learning? I learn something new every day. That's a fact. I always have been that way since I was 9 years old. So I know a lot. And of course, I don't know everything. No one does. And of course, there are people who are smarter than me. There always is. But at the end of the day, there's no need for me to sit here and discount my own intelligence because someone else who doesn't know as much feels insecure around me. That's their problem. It's not mine. And it's also not yours when people feel insecure around you. Whatever feelings or whatever they think about you, it's none of your business. That's what you need to start telling yourself. Because when you tell yourself that whatever other people think of you is none of your business, then that's when you realize that you don't have to please them. That what they think shouldn't negatively impact your life. Now, if they have some positive things to say, sure, take that and run with it and use that to benefit yourself. But if they have all these negative things and they're not just giving you critical or constructive criticism, they're just being naysayers and being pessimistic, well, you shouldn't be listening to them. What they think shouldn't matter at all. Okay? Now, figure out what you want, because when you know exactly what you want in life, then you'll be able to go after it full force. And that means being true to yourself. living in integrity and trusting in a self-purpose that sets you free, that guides and leads you to be your true self and live your heartfelt dreams, even while you're in the process of working to change. It doesn't matter if your life isn't perfect. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. It doesn't matter if you know everything that you want to know. It doesn't matter because, like I always tell you, there's always room for improvement. You can always get better at whatever you're trying to accomplish as long as you work, focus, and stay disciplined and believe in yourself. Don't allow self-doubt and procrastination to hinder you from obtaining your dreams. Making things worse. Now, humans are hardwired to create the perfect impression of themselves, even when things aren't right. Maybe it's due to an over or under confidence in oneself. Maybe it's because you have self-deception or placebo or prototype effects. Now, lying to yourself only makes these matters worse. Things affect your long-term positive, this affects your long-term positive outcomes. We sometimes find ourselves struggling with pessimism, negative mindsets, lack of ambition, feeling submerged in a life of negativity, and more. But you have to rise above those things. I always tell you to rise above emotions. That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, right? You have to rise above emotions into a new way of thinking. Every day you should be constantly evolving, constantly trying to improve upon the life that you lived yesterday, constantly trying to improve upon yourself. There's always room for improvement. So that means there should be a continuous flow of energy, growing and knowing and doing and achieving, coming and emanating from you on a daily basis. Don't just reach a goal that you've set and stop there. Set another goal and then reach that. And then set another goal and reach that. Every day, you should be ever evolving. Now, being honest with yourself is key to living your life in full. You positively impact yourself as well as those around you. Honesty helps us to detect the self-deception that we use as a smokescreen to mask our issues. Now, you may be unemployed and facing financial ruin, but unless you accept the situation for what it is, you will find yourself struggling to maintain your lifestyle rather than adjusting to your current situation. How many of you know people who cannot pay their bills, or they could pay their bills, but yet they're behind in their bills because they chose to take their money, their bill money, and go out partying to the club, or go out and buy a new Louis Vuitton bag, or go out and buy a nice outfit or a pair of shoes, or go out and treat all their friends to dinner, just flossing and perpetrating a fraud as though they're balling when they really aren't. They're out there spending money that they know they need for bills and for something else. There's a lot of people who do this. It's called putting up a facade. It's also called keeping up with the Joneses. Far too many people do that, and especially our people, Black people. And when you do this, it's only because you want other people to think you're something that you're not. You want other people to see you as someone who can just live life, do whatever they want. You don't have to worry about money. Money ain't a thing. You getting paper, you chasing bags and all of that. That's what some people really want people to think. And that is such a negative, foolish mindset. Because at the end of the day, why are you so worried about what people are thinking of you? Why are you trying so hard to impress people? If you're worried about yourself and impressing yourself and setting and achieving your goals, rather than worried about what other people think, you will get a whole lot farther in life. At the end of the day, some people are sitting there going out to the club on Fridays and then knowing good and darn well that Monday the rent is due. Now, you don't spend a part of your rent money just to go out because you were too proud. You had too much ego to tell your friends, well, I can't go this weekend. I'm having money issues, or I have bills to pay. That's what a lot of people do. And it's just being fraudulent to yourself. And lying to yourself is worse than lying to other people. Because in fact, if you didn't lie to yourself, then maybe you wouldn't have to lie to other people, right? So they put up these smoke screens and try to act like everything's just all good when it really isn't. Okay? If you are always shifting the blame from your problems to other people, if you think constructive criticism is hate, you are likely suffering from self-deception. Yes, absolutely. Some people will take no accountability or culpability for their own actions, for their own mistakes, for their own misgivings, their own undoing of themselves, they won't take responsibility. They'll sit there and blame everyone else. Oh, it was my mother. She did this. Oh, my father said that. Oh, my friends told me to do it. I was pressured. And all of these things, they will not, if they hadn't done this, then I wouldn't have done that. They deflect and they don't want to be responsible or accept responsibility for the things they've done that are wrong, right? Another thing is, some people, when given constructive criticism that could surely help them in life, help them to evolve, help them to be a better person, well, they'll just say that's hate. Oh, you just hating on me. Oh, they just mad. Oh, they just mad because I'm balling. They're mad because they don't have money. For example, let's take the person who takes the bill money and goes out partying over the weekend, knowing good and darn well they haven't paid all their bills, and knowing good and darn well they have a bill to pay next week. Well, this person, if someone who knows what they're doing, like say a family member, a sibling, comes to them and says, look, man, why are you going out on the weekend and spending up your money? You know darn well you need to be paying your bills. You need to start prioritizing. Now, before you go out and have a good time, just make sure your bills are paid first. It's okay to be broke, but it's best to be broke if you paid your bills first, not to go out there and spend your money and then be broke and bills are still due. That's only going to put you in financial ruin. You shouldn't be out here flossing trying to make your friends think you balling like that. Oh, you just hating on me. Oh, you just mad because you ain't out here partying. Oh, you just mad because nobody wants to hang out with you. This is how some people really think. Like they literally get mad because someone's trying to tell them something for their own good. They don't want to hear it. Yes, the truth hurts. It hurts those who are doing what? It hurts those who are living a lie. Okay? Queen Adai said, no, a bad choice was made. When you come to terms, you are able to make change. You can't change when you think there is no problem. Absolutely. Well said. Yes, some people don't see the problem because they don't want to be the problem and they don't want anyone pointing the finger at them. Instead of owning up to what they do, they'd rather just blame it on somebody else because then they can just keep foolishly doing the same BS they've been doing. You see, to accept accountability and to own what you have done, your mistakes, then that would make you accountable for changing your mistakes and your behaviors. But if you just pass it off and say, well, it wasn't me, I didn't do anything wrong, it was all their fault, then you don't have to change. You don't feel compelled to do anything different. You can just keep on making a mess and blaming somebody else every time. That's what many people do. Now, putting up barriers. You may be too blind to see fault in yourself, not because it isn't there, but because you put up barriers to your problems. Now, Dr. Seuss, and we all know who Dr. Seuss is, right? He once said, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. In other words, honesty begins with you and not others around you. And I absolutely love that quote because those who mind don't matter. Absolutely. The people that are mad about the way you think and the way you live and you being your honest, true self, those people shouldn't matter because 9 times out of 10, those people actually are haters. They're not telling you things for constructive criticism to help you. They're being pessimistic and they're trying to discourage you. So those are haters and they absolutely shouldn't mind. The ones that matter, they don't mind you being yourself because they love you for you. They love you for who you are. Even despite your flaws, they still love you anyway and they accept you, right? Now, many people abide by the fake it till you make it rule. This is what a lot of people do. They'll sit up there and wear the newest Jordans, all draped in Louis. I mean, just dressing all fancy and flashy. And they may not even have a job. And the money they use to purchase those items, well, they likely borrowed it sometimes and they don't want to pay it back. Then when the person they borrowed it from comes asking for the money back, now they have an attitude. Man, why you sweating me for that little money I borrowed from you? Man, you gonna get your money. But now they have an attitude. But why are you mad? Now they're sweating you because they want their own money back? Please make that make sense. But this is what some people do, especially when they're trying to fake it till they make it, trying to be something they're not. And my grandmother used to tell me that when you meet people in relationships, whether it's a romantic or a friendly relationship, a lot of times when you meet a person, in the first 6 months, you don't see the real them. They send their representative, which is the best version of them that they can put off, that they can front, right? You see the representative of the person. And then 6 months down the line, when they've gotten comfortable with you, that's when the real them shows up. And guess what? It may not be the person you ever thought or the person that you even want to be bothered with. And that's what people do when they're not being true to themselves. They have to put up an front. They don't want to come to you as who they truly and authentically are, but they want to put up a front, right? Now, they may, and here are some of the things that these type of people do. People who are being fake and who are being, not being true to themselves. And I know someone just like this. Now, they may take flowers to a sick colleague that they despise, stay in a dead relationship, or they will laugh at their boss's dry jokes that aren't even funny in the least, right? Clearly brown noses and being fake. Or they may get married just because that's what their parents want them to do, even though they have no desire to do so. A lot of people just live fake lives, mundane lives, trying to please everyone else other than themselves. And I'm here to tell you that the longer you do that, the more unhappy you will be, honey, because you get no satisfaction, clearly, out of making everyone else happy around you, but you knowing that you can't be your true, honest, authentic self. Make that make sense. Now, being honest with yourself takes work, and it doesn't happen overnight. It requires lots of dedication, willpower, sacrifice, and patience. Now, however, the benefits are both short-term and long-term, and they far outweigh the struggles and the sacrifices. Not only will you enjoy long-term peace of mind and greater positivity, but you will change the world around you. You see, a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, while the optimist, who is also the realist, sees the opportunity in every difficulty. And that's a quote by Winston Churchill. So with that all being said, be you. You know, the one thing about life is that there's no one capable of being a better you than yourself. Even when people copy your style, copy your swag, copy your catchphrases, copy your talking points, or any of those things, try to copy your look. Anytime someone is trying to copy you, that's okay, because at the end of the day, they can never do it the way you can. Because nobody can be better at being your authentic self than you. So be yourself unapologetically, and don't listen to the naysayers and the doubters, and don't be ashamed of who you are. Because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. And anyone that's critiquing you, they have a few things about themselves that are flaws too. No one on this earth is flawless. Okay? So with that all being said, make sure you are being yourself. Desmond says, cough, cough. Woman says, I will make sure that I share this live with several people. Thank you, beloved Woke One. Yes, and tell people to stop faking it until they make it. Because in real life, the only way you make it is to keep it real. Okay? Because one thing about being fake, sooner or later, you're going to get exposed, especially when a real one walks in the room. All right? So with that all being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed this lesson. Make sure you stay high vibrational, positive, raise your levels of consciousness, give all praises and thanks to the Most High, and remember to keep the Most High first in your life. Do something constructive and productive, never destructive. And I hope to see you all for your daily vitamins today. And I do believe I'm going to be doing the daily vitamins at about 3 o'clock. So stay tuned. I'm coming in early today, right? I'll send out the notifications as I did yesterday. But right now, we're going to the other live that should have started 10 minutes ago. So please meet me on the True Crime channel. All right? Have a blessed day. And don't forget, I've got my third eye on you. Peace.